Hey everybody, this is Darwin Reina. I'm the Festival Director Hospitalario Llobregat International Film Festival right next to Barcelona, a beautiful city. Today we have a great filmmaker from Germany. It's Marcus. He made this beautiful movie, Q Ghostly Remote Effect. I'm gonna ask him why he named it that way. It's pretty soon, but how are you, Marcus?
Yeah, hello Darwin. Nice to meet you.
Nice to see you, buddy. Listen, tell me, where did you get the idea from and why were you so driving to make this film, the Ghostly Remote Effect?
Yeah, I'm quite into robots. I shot also some music videos with little football playing robots who are real. And into artificial intelligence. I really loved Ex Machina, which came out when I was writing the script for that. Yeah, maybe that's the original Blade Runner idea of testing a robot and finding out if it's human enough that it seems to be human, although it's a robot. And I wanted to start the film in a quite genre-typical narrative, which is in our film The Laboratory. You can see concrete and glass and metal, and it looks like any other film. And I wanted to transform that into something more sensible, more tactile, more, yeah, maybe it starts like Ridley Scott and ends like Terrence Malick, if you can say it like that. And that was the challenge. That's why we went to Iceland. Originally, we wanted to shoot it in the woods in Brandenburg in Eastern Germany. But then the fire level rose too much, so we were not allowed to shoot there because we couldn't went into the woods with cars just not to cause any fire. And then I had a personal breakup, and I went to Iceland to get my head clear, and suddenly I found myself location scouting there, and thought to myself, well, the nature part of Q could also play here. And yeah, that's how the story went. Yeah.
Wow, Marcus, how difficult? Because I know it's difficult when you were writing the story and put it together. It take you time to develop it. How long was the process? How many drafts do you make? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, yeah, interesting question. I think the first attempt to shoot it in Brandenburg, we had 7 drafts, I guess. And then when we made the decision to, in the beginning, it was P was the role that Effi played was a male role. At a certain point, we changed that because we wanted to mark out the relationship that builds up between the scientist and the robot is not connected to any gender, but it's connected to human and machine. So that's why we decided to have a female lead. And when we made the decision to go to Iceland, we also restarted writing the script because it's a whole different world we tell there. And we knew that Iceland and nature is changing so fast. The weather is like unpredictable there, and plays also a lead role, the third lead role in the film.
Wow.
So we try to make room for that and not write every single step in the draft, but make space for things to happen, which maybe Effi can tell something about that later. But we planned, for example, to shoot on the glacier where Batman Forever was shot. And when it came to that day, it just rained and we couldn't go up there. So we waited one night, but the next day it was still raining. So we just had to move on. We couldn't shoot this location. And,
oh man,
stuff like that happened quite some times.
That's filmmaking. So how long was the pre-production to organize, to put everything in motion? How long it takes for you to do all that pre? You remember?
We already had some stuff prepared when we tried to shoot in Brandenburg. Then we made the decision to go to Iceland, and I think from there on, I'm not sure, I have to lie, maybe 4 to 5 months to get all the flights and crew. And well, the crew we had together, the cast we had together, we had to shift shooting locations and organize everything on set. We didn't have to book any hotels because we were so limited on budget. We were not able to afford any hotels. It was also a decision to shoot very very green in a way, because we wanted to reduce the team to a very small amount and sleep in tents together with the camera and the equipment, and cook on little camping stoves. Was quite an adventure as for the protagonist as well.
So what about the production time? How long was the movie? How long it takes to shoot? Do you remember how many days?
We were in Iceland like 2 weeks, 14, 15 days, something like that, but with 4 or 5 days of location scouting in between and in the front. And half a year later, we had 3 shooting days, the laboratory in Wolfsburg in Germany.
That's a good one, yeah. I love it, the laboratory. Very cool. Yeah. So what do you find, what was the most difficult technical part in when we were shooting the queue? What do you think in the production time? Something very difficult that it was getting out of your hands. So it was something like that or not really?
We tried to find a really great costume for the robot. I mean, Effi is in the Icelandic landscape, and she is a human, and she can wear warm clothes, but the robot was not allowed to look like warmly dressed. So we made the decision to use a diving suit. And we tested it in Germany, but not within the water, not wet. And we had to find out that diving suit works really great if you are underwater, but if you are just wet, also by sweating, and you are on the cold air, it's fucking it's so cold.
Wow.
So also Lisa had a very tough job, and yeah, exactly. That was something that could have become a really issue, but yeah, Lisa is a tough woman, and we had to use small shooting slots and keep her warm all the time.
We have the pleasure to have Effi here. Effi, tell me how are you, Effi?
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm fine. Hello to everybody.
It's happy to have you. Effi, tell me, when you got the script and you have all this story, what do you think? And what was the thing that you say, wow, this is gonna be nice and this is gonna be difficult for me? Can you tell us a little bit of that if you remember?
Yes, I remember that the more difficult part was the part of the scientist P, that is somehow a woman driven by her intellect and has an enormous knowledge that through the movie turns into a feeling human being. So
wow.
This was closer to me, let's say, this part, but it was quite interesting also, and also the challenging things always have something very good.
Yeah, definitely. How do you prepare this character? Do you do something special or something different to try to bring this character to life? How was your preparation? Do you remember?
I remember a lot of rehearsals we did together with Marcus and Lisa.
Very good.
So somehow we're developing it together. What was a very beautiful process. Generally, the being together was something very special in this project, especially for sure in Iceland. That was a very intense experience and a very beautiful one, and maybe because of its very difficult conditions, everybody had to support the other, and you did not only have the role of the actress, yeah, but I would say even in Iceland, for the developing the character was the most important time, because we were there and we could feel this amazing place that actually is like being there is like being on another planet or on Earth at its beginning, maybe. And there were so many things to work with, as Marcus already said, that fit to the thing we wanted to tell, for the story that happens to this character P.
Wow, nice. I'm gonna get one more question to you, Effi, and then I go back to Marcus. What do you like from Marcus as a director? That you say, wow, this guy is great. I put you on the spot, Marcus. Go, tell me.
One thing is really great. One thing is really great, and actually, yes, it is like he's very open to hear you, to listen to you, and to work actually with your feelings or thinkings or experiences, and to accept everything what happens somehow. And it's a kind of being true also to the story, or to the things you are working on.
If you mentioned that you guys did a lot of rehearsals, right? That's very important, right? To as a director, for later when you're shooting, right? To do rehearsals. It's very important, right?
A luxury to have rehearsals, because you have to afford them. I mean, it's a student film, and no one got paid, so I think it's really a luxury. On bigger sets, you have to pay, and often there's no money for rehearsals. You only have a short span of time in front of each scene. So yeah, I love doing rehearsals. I love trying things out, finding new solutions. But I also know it's not happening always.
Yeah, right. Marcus, so Effie was mentioned that she have kind of a room to improvise and bring things to the character. That's the way you direct actors? You have a special way, or you let them free? Bring me ideas. How do you approach the actors in the acting?
Well, I think different ways of acting also I use or used, looking who is in front of me. Every actor wants to be treated in a different way, I think. And the challenge is to find a language, an individual language with each actor. And some need more advice, and others are better if they have more space to embrace. And actually, I really like finding solutions for a story by improvising, but I also like to condense them on a writing level and then react them.
Right.
Yeah,
cool.
I think we tried different styles on Iceland. We had more free scenes, and we had scenes that somehow were written in a way, or where the setting was clear, or the action was clear, or the text was clear. So we experimented around with different styles, as I remember.
Wow. I went to Effi. Effi, there was something something difficult in the script in your character besides the freeze call that you have to pass in Iceland. Besides that, forget about that. It was something difficult that you were struggling with the character, or not really? Or everything was very fluid. I went to Marcus. Let's talk about the post-production time. Who edited the film? Were you with the editor, or you did it yourself? How was that process? And I'm very interested in the.
Yeah, I had a great editor, Maria Gans.
Nice.
Really recommend to work with her, because I was looking for a character I can discuss with, and the editing process was very long and difficult, because we had
It is.
our shooting style brought with it that we had a lot of material and a lot of ways to arrange it and to tell different
Wow,
stories.
that's
So
difficult. Oh my goodness.
maybe you know the saying, editing is the third level of storytelling. So there are other films that are where editing is less important and you just put the things in the right order. We really experimented around and
Nice.
reduced by every editing version. We reduced the narrative level more and more in the nature part. So what I said in the beginning, the attempt to start in a sci-fi narrative and to transform it into a Terrence Malick nature sensible narrative. That was the challenge, and each time we got there a bit more. So, and we had to throw darlings out and rearrange stuff because, nature's not as explicit narrative, is not the explicit narrative that dialogue could be, or
Gotcha.
that, So,
and editing is very difficult. I thought it was easy, but it's not easy. It's a very difficult process. So, while she was editing for you, you guys were working together, or she was more leading the editing, or you also were like, no, I want this, I want that. How was that process? It's interesting between director and editor.
Sometimes we were sitting in one room, and sometimes I was doing the next version and sent it to her, and then she came up with changes, and then we met again and discussed. We tried out different ways, and different ways were important for different stages of the editing process. But we got the most out of meeting and discussing and doing a dialogue with each other and fighting also for certain scenes.
Wow, amazing. How was the music, Marcus? How do you work with the music? Do you have the music before in your mind when you're writing the script, or all that music comes when you're editing? How is for you the approach?
I have a great composer, Markus Zierhofer is his name. He's based in Berlin, and he came up with 5 tracks before we went to Iceland. So we had parts of like atmospheres or moods for several parts before we got there, and I'm not sure if I played that to the actors. Effi, can you remember me playing something to you?
No. I feel like it's new for me, this this information.
Okay.
But I really love the music, and it fits for me. Perfect.
Yeah, we changed.
It's like opening up everything, and
No, but my first AD, Sarah, she edited parallel to our shooting. She was also data wrangling and sitting till late in the night, and also she tried to arrange what we shot for the version and put music, and then we got a closer feeling to what we did there, and.
Wow, that's pretty good. Really good.
Helped me to improvise scenes, to listen to the music and knowing what emotion or what direction it could take. And some of the music we still used at the end. I think two tracks we recomposed because we needed maybe a little different direction emotionally. Yeah.
Wow. Hey, Marcus, how do you decide what's your final cut, your final master to show to the world? Do you screen it to people before that and get feedback from them, or is more your intuition and your own guts? And then how was that process to say this is what I want and it's out now? How do you choose that final cut?
In the middle of the editing process, we did quite some test screenings with test audience, but at the end, at some point I knew what I wanted.
Nice.
Maybe I found out through this editing and test screening process what was the core, what was my core, because
Right.
yeah, some elements
Wow.
were maybe not from my heart, but from stuff I absorbed or people were telling me. So at one point I found the core and I knew this is it. So
Nice. Yeah, it's your style, right? It's your movie. Effi, when you saw the final project, were you surprised, shocked, happy? How was your reaction to that?
Yeah, actually, I was surprised, but in a positive way, because I felt there was really created a world and a film actually that has a very deep secret, and I felt actually it was transporting what I always felt for the movie, what it's about, without explaining it.
What is the difficult part for you as a filmmaker in the phase of making a movie? The pre-production, production, or post? What do you think for you?
for me, I think the most difficult part of making a movie is to find the core of the narrative or what the movie wants to be. Often I don't know what is the essence of what I want to tell when I'm starting to write a script. So it's a process, and sometimes it's a journey, and only at the end I find out what's the core, as it was with Q. I couldn't have told you that before. With other projects, I know it from the very beginning, and with the other ones, I just discovered it while shooting. So finding this core of the film, I think is and making all departments work for that core, serving that core. That's the most difficult thing. I can't tell you about which process is difficult,
Right.
because I love that they are different, and that yeah.
I mean, they're all important, right? They're all important, all the process. Yes. Marcus, what would you do different? What do you learn from this film, from Q Ghostly Remote, that you will do different in the next project? Something that you learned to do different. Is anything that you can share?
I think this film was quite important for me to listen to my inner voice. In the beginning of the project, there were several other voices in the film, and yeah, finding my voice in that was most important. Listening to it, not only hearing it, but also listening to it and following it. It's not easy all the time, because sometimes I'm missing arguments for it, and I just have to say, believe me, please follow me. I know this is the direction it needs to go. I can't explain why, but
yeah. Wow.
I know behind this mountain there's the sun is shining. Please, let's go there and shoot there.
You did great. My last question. This question is very tricky, but this is more like personal, singular for you. What do you want the audience to get, or to get the feeling after they finish the film? Q Ghostly Remote Effect. What is the thing that you want them to get? Of course, every audience is different, and each person is different. But for you, your perspective that you want the audience to get a feeling.
I think this, as I experienced, because I had quite some screenings now. This film is kind of a door opener for private talks about relationships, about how the audience or certain people had very special encounters or relationships in their lives. I love hearing about that, and it happened quite sometimes that really random people I don't know at all came to me and opened their heart for me, although they sometimes didn't like the film and they were like, "Nah, I couldn't believe that," blah 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 blah. But 2 years ago I had this encounter and I met this guy and then half an hour of a very special encounter is presented to me, which is like the very special encounter in the film. Somehow it's connected, and these stories are really precious to me. So that is what maybe the film does or invites to share. And yeah, I wouldn't say I wanted that to happen, but it's it's a gift that's
it's special. Effi, we'll be waiting for you. Thank you, guys. Okay, thank you for this great interview, and I'll see you around. Okay, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Davin. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye, guys.
Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you too, guys. Bye.